And welcome back, rally fans. We're talking all the WRC news over the weekend. As you can see here, Kalle expressing his thoughts on those new rules. What does he think? A lot of people have been expressing the thoughts on the new rules, and it is very much mixed. Some positive, some negative. It's going to be really interesting to see what Mr. Rovanperä, the current Rally World Champion, well, the World Champion for 2023. We haven't crowned a 2024 one yet, so I think it's fair to say the current Rally Champion. Also, Tanak, I need to get back on track, Tanak. Yes, you do. Let's be fair, he really does. He is under pressure, as we said. His boss, Mr. Cyril, has suggested giving him a friendly nudge to do better. Neuville also taking positives from what was an disastrous, maybe, rally for Hyundai, and in particular Neuville. Last but not least, fantastic Fourmaux. A really interesting piece from rallyjournal.com. But our first piece from rallyjournal.com is about Kalle Rovanperä delivering a blunt commentary, expressing his thoughts. It's by Ville Hivonen. I have probably got that wrong. I do apologise. So, significant changes, as we know, are going to be planned for the Rally World Championship next season. The FIA aims to reduce the cost of the championship, and through that they want more people to watch. They want more rally cars, they want more drivers. We want more rally cars up in the top echelons of the WRC at the moment. Let's be fair, we've only got 3 teams, 3 cars, 3 manufacturers. It's not the best, is it? But the goal is good, it says here, but there can certainly be many opinions on the methods. The most controversial aspect has been this abandonment of the hybrid units next season. I think it's good that we abandon these hybrid units, not because yes, they are road significant, but they're so expensive. They're holding back other teams coming into rally. And at the end of the day, yes, this is a motorsport. We want it at the top echelons of motorsport. But if you don't have the teams and the drivers coming into rally, there's nothing to watch. So no Rovanperä, though, is not impressed with these proposed changes. And he believes that abandoning the current cars would be a poor decision. He said there are some good aspects to the new ideas. However, changes at the car make no sense to me, he said bluntly to rallyjournal.com. Now, the proposed FIA reforms involve reducing the power of the current top class cars, cutting back on their aerodynamics, kind of like they've done with Formula 1 over the years. Now, the aim is for the top class and the WRC 2 to be closer together, with Rally 2 cars potentially competing against Rally 1 cars using what they are classing as a WRC kit. It's a big hassle for 2 years, spending more money to try to merge 2 classes, says Kalle, which I believe will never be truly equal or connected. Now, Rovanperä understands the need for change, but he disagrees with the method. He said, yes, I understand the desire for more cars in the main class on the start list, but that's about it. You just see the numbers, there are more cars, that's all. Now, Rovanperä would have approached it differently. It'd be interesting to see what he says. And he says there should be focus making new rules for 2027. Then, hopefully, we might see new teams coming in. Nobody will come if the rules are only known for 6 months beforehand. Who will come then? No one, he asserted. Rovanperä wishes for more stability, which would make it easier to attract these new manufacturers to the WRC. The current confusing and uncertain situation deters newcomers right from the start. One could argue that the expensive hybrid systems and the fact that each rally car is, what, nearly €1 million to make is something that a lot of car manufacturers and teams are like, oh, I'm not so sure as well. But Kalle goes on to say the problem so far is that there's been no real plan for the future, so no new teams are coming. They could reduce costs, make the cars whatever they want, but to do it after 2 years, I don't really understand the transition phase. Now, the World Champion plans to return to full-time rally driving next year after competing in only half of this season's WRC. But could his plans change if the cars are significantly detuned? He said it would change many things, you never know. Now, WRC teams have informed the FIA that they would like to continue with their Rally 1 cars until the end of 2026 season. The FIA's WRC Commission is going to discuss the matter further this week, so stay tuned here at the Hot Stage via the Hot Lap for more interesting updates on that. I mean, we are going to be all over that because that's quite interesting, and not all over the 2024 championship is exactly what Mr. Tanak's doing. We want to get back on track. This is from WRC.com. Now, the 2019, don't forget, this guy is a rally champion. And he heads into next week. Well, we say next week, yeah, Monday the 8th of April. Croatia Rally, that's the 18th to the 21st of April, in search of a rhythm to build a title tilt off the back of what was a strong finish in the end for what was, I think, a disastrous rally for him, really, because he was up there. He had the speed to win. Hence the term, you know, disaster. This is the World Championship points. This is the world, he's not the points leader, but Hyundai have won 2 out of the 3, rallies. And the Estonian star was forced out of round 3 in Africa with a broken suspension. But he bounced back strongly with a late push, which brought him a maximum Super Sunday points, plus the bonus 4 for being second quickest on the Wolf Power Stage. Controversial maybe with those points. I'm not going to get into it here. We will get into it. Chris is chomping at the teeth to get into it next time he's on. So despite that boost, though, Tanak admitted that he's still trying to get his 2024 pursuit of a second crown on the right track. Tanak, who finished 8th in Kenya, said our pace is definitely getting closer to the others. Croatia will be a completely different rally, even to Monte Carlo, so let's see how we do. He said we want to get back on track. The championship is very young, but we need to get back into our rhythm. He says, talking more specifically about his African adventure, he added, our target was always not to push to the maximum, but to aim for a podium and a clean run. Fair, that's pretty much what Kalle was doing, except he did it, didn't he? So our retirement on Friday, he said, was of course frustrating. I mean, the Hyundai, it was almost like, compared to the Toyotas, they were falling apart at the seams, the poor Hyundai teams, and so were their tyres, albeit obviously, Evans was having issues as well as Katsuta, but not as many. Now, although we had to face a number of issues in the car, on the road, our troubles had nothing to do with reliability. Tanak's round 3 result moved him up to 4th in the standings, but he remains 34 points adrift of his teammate, Terry Neuville. And speaking of Terry Neuville, let's have a chat about him now, shall we? So, Terry Neuville, this guy is the World Rally Championship leader in the points, and he's taken the positives from what he has classed, which was a brutal safari. So FIA World Championship leader Neuville says he can take the positives from last week's, I think, Kenya Rally. Now, despite what was a troubled event in Africa, the Belgian doubled his 3-point advantage to move on to round 4, 6 points ahead of Elvin Evans. So Neuville was running second in Kenya until a fuel-related issue hobbled his I-20, cost him 10 minutes. But Neuville finished the event 5th, but scored 11 from a possible 12 points on Sunday, a result which included a stunningly fast time on that Wolf Power Stage. More controversy I know about these points. We will get into that, I promise, on another show. But Neuville said taking more points is something good. It's something good from. We have a bigger lead than we arrived to Kenya. From that side, it's good, but for sure, we could have done better. And he says, unfortunately, we got hit by problems, but despite this, we kept fighting. On Sunday, there was an opportunity to take loads of points. We scored 11 out of 12, so we're satisfied to be second best performer today. We would have loved to get more, especially after 3 consecutive difficult years here in Kenya. He says there's still room for improvement, but we have managed to increase the lead in the championship and got a good road position for Croatia. On to the next one. So, let's talk about the huge sensation, though, from Neuville to a sensation, because he's leading the Rally Championship, to another sensation, and that is going to be very much this man, fantastic, Fourmaux. Yes, he's been absolutely remarkable. This is from rallyjournal.com. That's him in action at the rally in 2024. So it goes, yet how things have turned out. The Frenchman, Fourmaux, has been remarkably consistent throughout the season and has been performing splendidly, it says, behind the wheel of a Ford. And this is a Ford where, when you go into a rally, you really think, okay, they're very much the 3rd fastest car. So in the season opening Monte Carlo, he finished 5th, and in Sweden, he stepped onto the podium for the first time in his career. During the Safari Rally in Kenya, though, he immediately followed up with his 2nd ever career podium. And it's fair to say, Fourmaux has been the most consistent and reliable driver of the season so far. You just have to wonder, what could he do in a Hyundai or a Toyota? It does feel that the Ford cars are still the lesser of the two. But I still think, as we have seen in the past, they are capable of winning, maybe not championships, but certainly winning rallies. Now, the 28-year-old Fourmaux, however, doesn't take all the credit for himself. He says, I have to say that it also deserves credit to the team because we had no issue at all the weekend with the car. Fourmaux mentioned to Dirtfish during referring to the Safari Rally. He said they have been pushing quite hard since Christmas to get the car reliable this year, and we had 3 events with no issues. He said we have changed only one time bumper, but just the bumper. Of the rest, it was all in one piece every time. Not even something loose or whatever. It was just really good, he added. Now, being steady and consistent, as we know, is one thing, but he's an evolving rally driver and he's getting seemingly better and better. Moving from the 3rd spot to become a rally winner, though, is a long way off, we think. So the Rally Journal has reported that he says, I was expecting to get a podium in the second half of the season, and we have already 2 on the trot. It's really good for the championship, but also, he says, I think it makes the championship interesting to have 3 different cars in the top 3. Amen, it does. And in April's Croatia Rally, Fourmaux might be closer to victory than ever before, they're predicting. We'll have a really good road position for Croatia, he says. So for now, it's a really good start, and I'm really pleased for that. Last year, Fourmaux drove a Rally 2 car in Croatia, but his previous outing in a Rally 1 car sadly ended in a crash. Whoops-a-daisy. We still have to work on different things on the car, he says. Now we are reliable. We need to push a little more for performance. There are some places where we struggled a little bit, he says. We are pushing on it. We are trying to do the same with the Rally 1 as we did last year with the Rally 2 car to make it faster. And he emphasises that the first victory is not an obsession at this point. He said that's the plan, isn't it? I think we show that we are improving every time. Every rally, so the pace is coming. We are reliable. Says now we need to improve on the pace step by step. So maybe it's going to be second and then after that first, or maybe it will take more time. I don't know. We are working on it, and maybe one day it will come. Maybe sooner, Fourmaux outlined, and that's interesting. It could come sooner. I mean, rally is one of these sports where the sea has parted. I mean, look how like Moses in the Bible, in Sweden, the snow parted and the chaos parted for a certain Mr. Lappy to win his first rally for a number of years. Could the same happen to Fourmaux? Absolutely it could. With a bit of luck, people making mistakes, but not him. He may well. I mean, it could have happened, it could have happened at the Rally Safari. It didn't, but he was really, really solid throughout. So, that being said, thank you very much. Like and subscribe if you can. That would be amazing. Stay tuned for more rally content this week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to be recording our ERC, our European Rally Championship preview, and more talk of those points, I imagine. And hopefully we're going to be doing a show with Chris. On that note, I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.